Alexis here from CWC. I'm bringing you today a short and simple yoga video for kids with nature and animal inspired poses. It's a simple way to get their bodies moving. And when we're working on environmental education for children in that age group, the most important thing is getting them into that physical outdoor space and creating positive memories and powerful, impactful experiences. So getting them out and doing some nature-based yoga in an outdoor setting is a really powerful tool for connecting them to nature without having to give this information overload and trying to feed them a ton of facts about the natural environment. Really, at this age group, it's just about connecting them and making them care about the environment. So hang out with me for a few minutes, learn some nature animal poses, and hopefully you can use those with your kids or your students and help them get fired up about being out in nature. So here we go. The great thing about this is you can do it with little to no equipment. All I have is a mat out here in the forest, and if you find a nice level soft spot, you really don't even need that mat. So we're going to start out just centered on our mat, toes facing forward, feet together, our body aligned, shoulders back, chest forward, chin level with the ground in mountain pose. You can tell children that although there's not a lot of mountains here in central Michigan, if you go up into the upper peninsula, you can find some small mountains. And we're mimicking their strength, standing against the winds of time, strong, tall, certain, our bodies aligned, our minds calm, mountain pose. From here, we're going to go into tree pose. And to start this with kids, I'd like you to crouch down to the ground. We're going to go through the life process of a tree. Wriggle your toes and work your feet into the mat, putting down a good root system. Next, we're going to stand slowly, rolling our spine one vertebrae at a time. Slowly upwards, growing our trunk towards the sky. Next, we'll reach out our branches, stretching, growing up to the sun, bringing our fingers out as our leaves wriggling in the wind. I want you to sway here for a few breaths with our core strong. Reach your branches up to the sky. If you're feeling really, really steady here, you can bring a leg up to the side. Holding this for a few breaths, finding our balance. Tree pose. Bring the leg down. Exhale to release the branches or the arms back down. And come to center. We're going to slowly lower back down to the mat. Bringing our feet together, knees wide, holding onto the ankles, pressing our knees down towards the ground, coming into butterfly pose. We want to keep our back straight here. If you want to go ahead and flap your butterfly wings, we can flap our wings, getting a good stretch. Hold this for a few breaths. Let your mind wander off thinking about fluttering butterflies. If you were a butterfly, what color would you want to be? Think about that for a second as we exhale. Very good. From here, going into flower pose, we're just going to bring our hands under the legs. Very similar thing, just a slightly different stretch. Pull your petals up towards center, keeping your back straight. Feeling that stretch through the body. We're just going to rock a bit like a flower in the wind. Very good. Now from here, we're going to turn our knees under our body, sinking our hips back onto our feet. We're going to tuck our head down and tuck our arms back, and we're going to pod ourselves up and go into what I like to call seed pose. We'll stay there for just a few breaths. gentle breaths here in seed pose. From seed pose, we'll put our hands on the mat, digging our heels in. We're gonna come up into downward dog, but since we're doing nature yoga, we can call this coyote pose if we'd like to. Really stretching, you can work your legs through like this. And then we're gonna pretend to hang upside down like a bat. So we're gonna walk our legs forward towards our hands. Grab the back of our shins and just let your head hang down, upside down like a bat. Sway side to side. And then slowly rolling back up. Take a few seconds here to breathe. All right. We're gonna shake out our arms and limbs because I know we all get wiggly. Center our hands over our heart. We're gonna sink down and back with our elbows between our knees, coming into frog pose. We have a lot of frogs here in Michigan. It's good to pretend to be one and get to know them. Look for them when you're outside in the woods or at a pond. This is a really good stretch through the hips. Just holding here for a few breaths of stretching. All right, now we're gonna come down to our bottoms and we're just gonna lay back. We're gonna go right into caterpillar pose, and we're just gonna lay here and let our bodies sink into the floor in a straight line like a caterpillar or maybe a little inchworm. Just relaxing, breathing really powerfully. Gonna roll right back up, stretching forward. Grab your toes if you can. If not, you can just put the hands on the legs. Then we're gonna roll back. We're gonna go into leaf pose. Fluttering like a leaf, we're gonna bring our legs up in front of us, our arms out straight. You might get a little shaky through here. That's okay. Deep breath. Bring your hands over your head as you lower your legs, stretch through one more time. Come back to center. We'll just be here for a few breaths. I want to leave you today with the thought that there are a ton of animals, a ton of plants out in the forest. You can make poses for each and every one of them if you'd like to. You can follow along with this video, or you can take it and turn it into what you want. Create new poses with your students or your children. The important thing here is that we're outdoors, we're doing some physical activity, we're relaxing our mind, and just enjoying the natural setting. Thank you so much for joining us today. I leave you with namaste.